Looking at the wind generators, commercial generators in a rural residential zone. Upper Pond in Lincoln. In this camp we have a view of actually 22 massive wind generators. They're flickering, giving off intense sound and pulsations, causing safety issues, disturbing the peace, obstructing justice. You name it, constitutionally, they're in violation of it. Especially the fact you're in a rural residential zone, there's no legal right to be there. And with adverse possessions, you probably have the opportunity to take them down. They're not feasible, they're not justifiable, not financially capable of sustaining and generation power for any purpose. There are again 22 generators right in our face, 24 hours a day, blinking lights at night, flashing down through the water. Not just sound, percussion is causing harm to people. This is reality you cannot avoid. Disturbing the peace, to say the least. Safety issues. Our Maine state constitution gives us some control over this. That was avoided. Article 1, Section 2 clearly states our safety, our health has to come first. And that has been avoided. Our safety and our health is being compromised. Sound is having obvious negative effects. Percussion more than sound. Reducing the property values, which leaders of the communities don't seem to want to accept as realities yet, that they will have to accept. This camp was in a pristine spot. These waterways, 13 lakes in Lincoln being their feature. Now the feature is 40 blinking towers generating power that's not needed, not green, not financially feasible. And as the generators wear out in 4 to 5 years, all moving parts have to be replaced. The subsidies go away. Who's going to replace the moving generator parts? Camp right on the water. Dock boats. "22 generators right in the face." Talked about taxation, about representation. This soon will pass. Once the facts come out that these are not wind farms, they're not windmills. Windmills grind grain. These are industrial complexes that do not belong in rural residential zones. And the only reason they didn't want to change the zoning is because the people would have found out about it and had something to say about it. They had a feasible project to begin with. They wouldn't have to lie, cheat, and basically steal in every sense of the word, pushing up our national debt, causing a national security issue because we're not paying down our debt, incurring even more interest on it for non-feasible projects. And to have a project like this, of this scale, built in the middle of the winter time on a mountaintop, is also taxation without representation. You should never be able to build a project in the middle of the winter in the middle of Maine. It's not feasible because of the wrong time of year and paid for with tax dollars. Talk about a scam and a waste. There they are. 20-year life expectancy and take 40 or 50 years to pay them back. The only reason that there is the subsidies. Free government money that people didn't have to give away. All these lots over here are for sale. They're not going to be sold because the land's been devalued. Who's going to come to a pristine area and want to put a camp up with all these wind generators in the face with the sound that they're pushing out? The percussion they're pushing out having negative effects on people's eardrums. It's a safety issue. And there's a safety officer in town. Eventually he's going to have to consider the facts. These are debilitating, non-productive, imposing taxation without representation. We have more federal and state laws that are being violated with this atrocity than we can even imagine. The truth will come out, we'll be told. People will realize over time that they're destructive more than they're creating anything positive. Maine generates 125% of electricity already. And yet we're taking down dams to take down all the mountain tops for generators that aren't feasible. Too many politicians lining their wallets along the way on an unjustifiable project. Not why these people bought these properties. And then for the town not to disclose the facts a year and 10 months after they accepted the project. The country of the world will figure out over time what happened here and do what it has to change things to rectify the problems that have been created by an industrial entity in a rural residential zone. There's no justification, no moral or financial or feasible justification for being there.